Hi, my name is Mayweather, former IBO junior lightweight champion and current trainer of several world champions. Today we're gonna show how to use the heavy bag, speed bag, double end bag, bag work in general. Before you even start hitting the heavy bag, actually you should master your craft and inside the ring. Your jab, your hook, your uppercut, all your punches should be mastered before you even decide to even hit the heavy bag, because the heavy bag, like I said, is a form of resistance training. So if you don't throw your punches correctly or properly, you may damage your hand. So you shouldn't mess with this bag until you actually, mastered everything that you've been taught. I'm going to give you an example of the proper way to hit the heavy bag. I'm going to start with the jab. Make sure when you're jabbing that you turn your knuckles right at the end. That's where you create snap for your punches, and that a lot of times actually is what sometimes cuts a fighter or sometimes jars their head. Same thing with the right hand. Turn them knuckles. Only thing different is just drop the right hand just a little bit. That's where the power comes from. That's how you're creating power. And of course there's the hook. You can go to the body or to the head. And you're turning your hands, always. Turn your knuckles. Into the head. Transfer that weight. See? And of course there's the uppercut. And then you can put them all together. That's how you do the heavy bag. Okay, the purpose of the heavy bag is to simulate boxing. It's actually a form of resistance training as well, because the heavy bag is where you gain power because of the resistance of the heavy bag. And it's actually a form of simulating boxing, and it's like a man, but it just doesn't throw punches back. So the thing, you work on your technique and try to perfect it. I'll let you see how it works, but Kevin Newman. There you go, start at the body. Start the body work. When using a heavy bag, it's just like simulating boxing. Here, this bag actually has X's on it, but it's for a person that's a little shorter. But actually, down low would be the body shots. That's where you do your body work. And being that Kevin's a lot taller, he would actually shoot his punches up a little higher. But this bag is a little, not high enough exactly for him, but since it's the bag that we have, this is what we'll have to do, we'll have to use. And so basically, you know, when you see Kevin here, this is body work. Down here where the X's are. Sometime, and then here, this placement for the hook. Those where these X's are. So this is body work, head work. Well, training technique for my guys, actually, have them on a heavy bag maybe 3 times a week. 3 times a week, heavy bag, and actually then 2 times a week, the lighter bags to work on your speed and to work on your agility. The double end bag gives you agility, timing, and the speed bag gives you timing as well. But I don't like my guys on the heavy bag every day, because I think that you need to balance them out. You need to have a guy on speed, work on their speed and their agility, and then actually work on their strength and their power. So I break up this. I have a system in which 3 days a week on the heavy bag and 2 days a week on the speed bag and the double end bag. 4 rounds on the heavy bag and 4 rounds on the speed. I mean, I have a consistent. I try to be consistent in the way my fighters work. I don't want them doing no more than 15 rounds. 15 rounds maximum, sometimes even just 12 rounds, but everything has to be intense. I don't want them to just come here and just play with the bags. I want them to get in here, do their work, be intense about it, get it done, get it over with, and go. Here's one aspect of the bag that not many trainers talk about, and basically that's with the bag. It's more than just punching the bag. It's actually, like I said, it's simulating boxing and simulating a man. And sometimes when you hit the bag actually moves. And when it moves, you have to create it as, you have to look at it as though that's your opponent that you're dealing with at that point in time. Sometimes here, it's your opponent being aggressive. Now it's your turn to be aggressive. So you move with the bag. Sometimes the bag comes, you pivot around the bag. Create distance. All these different things, they're part of boxing as well. And that's a part of working the heavy bag. So the heavy bag is not just actually just throwing punches. Just throwing punches and, you know, just throwing hard, powerful punches is not just the heavy bag. What the heavy bag is for. The heavy bag is for actually, like I said, simulating boxing as close as you can in every aspect. With every move, every punch that's delivered. I mean, you're trying your best in your own mind to simulate boxing. The heavy bag is very important into becoming a better boxer. I'm going to show you a few techniques with Kevin Newman once again. Jab. Double jab. Double jab right hand. Double jab right hand, hook right hand. Body hit. 1, 2, 1, 2. Jab. Jab, hook, jab. Jab. Uppercut, hook, right hand. Jab. Double. Up, down, up. Jab. Lead right hand. Right hand. Right hand, hook, right hand. Jab. Up, down, up. Jab. Right hand, double hook, right hand. Jab. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. Jab. Under and over. Jab. Double. Yeah. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2 pivot. Yeah. Up, down. Jab. Up, down, right hand up top. Yeah. Double. Lead. Jab. Double. 1 to 3. Jab. 1, 2. 1, 2 pull. Jab. Go for it. Now we're going to move on to the double end bag. Double end bag is very, very important. It's probably as close as you're going to get to simulating boxing, because actually when you're punching at the bag actually moves constant, different directions, and you use this bag also for offense and for defense as well, because sometimes you use the bag as it comes back to you. You slip side to side and drop under it sometimes. So I mean, it's as close, really. It's really as close as to actually trying to actually fighting an opponent, because, like I said, this is constant motion, all different angles. So, I mean, the double end bag is probably the very toughest bag to I would say, to master. Okay, I'm going to display all the punches that you can use in boxing on this bag as well. But the most important thing is to protect your hands. If your hands aren't wrapped, find your pair of gloves to actually hit the bag, because this is a leather bag, and if you hit it with no protection on your hand, actually, it may cut your hand. Well, we'll start with the jab. Now I'm going to add the right hand. And now actually I'm going to add the hook along with the jab in the right hand. See, that can be a little frustrating, but just keep doing it, and don't get frustrated, because it's just like simulating a person that's actually in the ring, that's moving, and that's a very hard target to catch up with. But you just keep on, keep working. And now actually I'm going to add the uppercut along with the other 3 punches. That's all your combinations, but actually you can also use this bag for defense, and I'll show you that as well. Well, basically, when you're doing defense, the most important thing is, like I said, is always simulating boxing. And what you're doing when I'm doing defense, basically, it's as though a person is throwing a jab at me, or maybe in the right hand. But basically, what I'm trying to do is slip that punch by here. When the bag comes, I'm here. Bag comes, I'm here. And sometimes it comes, I pull. And then sometimes, the bag is going this way, and that's like someone throwing a hook at me, so I roll under. And so that's basically the techniques that, are combined with the defense of using this bag and the offense. What we have here is a second version of a double end bag, and actually it's a more complete bag in terms of actually what you're doing in simulating boxing, because it's actually for using your head punches and actually your body punches. And I'll give you a little display of it. This bag is, like I said, it's a little better than the standard double end bag because it actually give you a chance to work the body as well as that. Now I'm going to have Kevin Newman show you how to hit the bag and all the facets that are very important in using this bag. You'll see Kevin using his jab, all the punches and combinations, and you'll also see him perfecting defense as well, adding everything there is in an actual match. I'll let him show you. Basically, I prefer my fighters to work on the double and bag at least twice a week for their timing and the rhythm is very important. But every once in a while, I mean, it's not etched in stone, my regimen of training, but most of the time, that's what I prefer. 2 days on the heavy bag, 3 days on the heavy bag and 2 days on the speed bag, double end bag, the bags that give you rhythm and timing, as opposed to the heavy bag that actually is more resilient and builds strength. And I prefer my fighters to do 4 rounds, mostly 4 rounds on each bag. But at the end of the day, I want my fighters to do an equivalent of 15 rounds. 15 rounds max, 12 rounds minimum. But highly intense work. I mean, I actually want them to simulate boxing. I want them to act as though they're being punched at. I want them to act as though, they're in the heat of battle. When you're jabbing, sometimes the double end bag, it'll come back at you just like an opponent. So, I want you to be prepared for an actual battle. And the same with the heavy bag. I want everything. Every time that my fighters are on the bags, I want highly intense work. Because, you're doing only 15 rounds of work total, so it has to be high intense. And then you get it done, you get it over with. Hopefully you go home a little tired. Okay, now we're going to move on to the speed bag. The speed bag is a very, very important part of boxing as well. It's about creating rhythm and timing, most importantly timing, and actually also speed. I'm going to show you a little bit the best way to work the speed bag, and also once a person learns to hit the speed bag, it's almost like an addiction. Almost everybody I train, once they learn how to hit the speed bag, they want to stay on the speed bag more than anything. And so it's also a fun drill. It's one of the drills in which you feel good about yourself while you're doing it. So I'll give you a little example of it. That's how you work the speed bag. Well, actually, it's not about hitting the bag very hard. It's more like timing. Timing and creating a rhythm in which the bag has an ebb and flow where it'll keep coming back. As you hit it, you want it to come back to that same, and so you always have that constant motion where your hand is like this. Your hand is working like this, and the bag will meet your hand every time. That's why I says it's about timing more than anything. And a lot of times you have fighters that, like myself, when I was fighting, I used to actually move around the bag. And moving around the bag to me is actually kind of like being in the heat of battle, because you create a rhythm with your feet as well as your hands. And so your hands and your feet movement create a rhythm in which, you create that timing, kind of be in touch with both at the same time. It's very important when you're in the ring. And one other thing about the speed bag, it's a little tough to learn. The way I teach my fighters is start with one hand. This is how you start. And once you develop this type of rhythm with that one hand, then it's kind of like you sneak your other hand in. It's not like you're really tricking the bag, but mentally you're tricking yourself into believing that. So it's kind of like. And then eventually you develop the rhythm with one hand, then develop the rhythm with the other hand, and then that's where the timing comes in. And once you get that timing in, and then that's when you create that constant flow with the bag. And actually I'm going to use, once again, Kevin Newman to show you how it's done. Well, basically, the speed bag is, like I said, is for your rhythm and your timing, and most importantly, your timing. And also, sometimes it's, it has to coincide with your movement of your feet as well. So, once you develop that rhythm, it becomes rhythm with your feet and hand, and they become one. Most of the time, when you're doing the speed bag, you're definitely in the zone. I mean, you're kind of doing your own thing, and you're not worrying about what's going on, behind you or around you or anything. You're just in your own zone, and you're doing your own thing, and you're creating that rhythm, and that rhythm is yours. It's not so much about the speed, but I mean, when you can create more speed, it's better. But at the same time, it's more about timing and rhythm. Creating a rhythm in which you feel comfortable with. That's most important. The rhythm is something that you actually take from the speed bag, you take it into the ring. It's your rhythm and your timing. I mean, you don't have to be the fastest person in the ring to have good timing. And this helps you develop timing. In concluding the bag work, be sure while you're doing your bag work to actually simulate as though you're actually fighting an opponent. Act like your opponent is actually in front of you with the heavy bag, the speed bag, and the double end bag as well. Try to simulate as close to boxing as possible, and best of luck to you.